जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So we were discussing Guru Maharaj's pastime with fighting with Rakshas. Actually, very interesting thing. Here, Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, you can be a villain by going to forest, and you can be a righteous person by fighting. This is the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. Like Arjuna is uh, Ar- Arjuna is telling, I will not fight, and Krishna is telling, you will be a villain if you don't fight. So, what is important here, na? It is not the uh, it's not the activity, the motivation that matters. That is our philosophy. Actions can be many different actions that are performed. But what is important is with what motivation we are doing will decide the result of our activity. So here we will come to this important understanding. Dhruv Maharaj still remained a hero in spite of his uh,
in spite of his fighting with the Yakshas. So this is the point. So it's not activity, but the motivation matters. And we need to be very clear. Our philosophy, Bhagavad Gita philosophy, people say ahimsa paramo dharma. That is actually what Mahabharata says also. Very important instructions from Mahabharata. And even Krishna tells the items of knowledge is amanitvam, adimvitvam, ahimsa, shanti. Shanti is also one of the items of knowledge. So if you take all these things, then it looks like, array, the philosophy is saying one thing, people are doing one thing. And Lord is telling ahimsa, shanti, rajam. And Lord himself comes and kills Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Kumbhakarna. He is also doing so much himself. So very uh, we should be very clear with our understanding of philosophy. We should not we should be very careful what we are uh, telling. Like say now there is fight between some countries and all. So we should know that yeah, if somebody is coming on our way and disturbing, definitely we should protect ourselves. We cannot just say, oh, we cannot say that no, I will follow ahimsa. I don't know. Actually, if you come on my way, then I will punish you. Just you be on your, will not disturb you. So that is the point. If a king is seeing some violence is going, sorry, some dharma is going on, he should protect by taking help of violence. So he is not envious. There is a difference. So king enviously he's trying to punish somebody, that is wrong. He should be like a father. He is want to rectify the person, like mother punishing the child. Mother is never envious of the child when she is punishing. She want to rectify. Father punishing the child. So king is like a father. He punishes the citizens, or he attacks the enemies to protect his citizens. So in both cases, it is actually correct. So we should not we should not, what do you say, misunderstand this philosophy. Ahimsa paramo dharma is there. In general, we should not cause harm to anyone. But if they are mischievous, the responsible person should rectify it so that the peace is prevailed in the whole society. So that is the understanding. So here Dhruva Maharaj, he is doing violence, not that he don't have knowledge or not that he is not following. He is following. So he is following this dharma. And two things. We hear that whomever Dhruva killed, they all got higher planetary systems which they cannot attain on their own. So in that way they got benefited. Another thing is because he's not envious, he's compassionate. That's why they got the higher destination. Even Arjuna killing the Kaurava army, they all got liberated only. That means what? The Arjunas are purified their heart because he is a great personality. He's not envious. So that makes a difference in the understanding. So when we talk about violence, yes, it's a sub king's punishment to a subject, fathers punishing the child, and establishing of dharma. So it is not misused. I think it is clear. Okay. Dharmam himsam tadaivacha. Full shloka is this, but generally people put only half. Ahimsa paramo dharma. Dharma himsa tadaivacha. Yeah, to establish dharma, we need to take off. Uh, Thank you. Shamakun is. I have to remember the shloka full. So here, my dear Vidura, when Dhruva Maharaj heard the encouraging words of the great sages, he performed the achman by touching the water and then took up his arrows made by Lord Narayan and fixed it upon his bow. So touching water, this achman is very important. So Prabhupada is, we didn't write on achman, but I will tell on achman. What happens is immediately consciousness get purified because whatever we eat, 30% of it goes to the mind only. That means when you do achaman, food contains water, right? Any food we take, the water quantity is there. That is almost like the 30% of it goes to the mind only. Immediately the mind gets affected. When we take water and any liquid, it affects 30% goes to the mind. So when we are doing achaman, this is the research done by Japanese scientists. I told this also. When you speak something to the water, immediately the waves of the what do you say, the structure of the crystal structure of water changes. If you speak something good to them, the structure is very good. If you speak something bad to the water, the structure is very abusive language you speak, and you check the structure of the water's crystal structures. They're very distorted. So that means what? It is immediately getting affected. So when we chant the mantra and sip the water, the vibrations immediately change our mind because it's a spiritualized water. Like that. Then holy places are also called tirtha. Tirtha means there is a water is available, and that water got saturated with the spiritual vibrations because from many hundreds and thousands of years, many saintly persons performed kirtans and bhajans, and they have performed their spiritual activities there. So that's why the water of that area got completely saturated with spiritual energy. So when we go to that holy place, we should take bath in the tirtha, sip some water to get benefit from that, like that. So here, when he sipped Achuman, immediately the consciousness changed, and that consciousness, why he need the change in consciousness? Because he want to meditate on the Lord. So Dromara was given a specific arrow made by Lord Narayan himself, and now he fixed it upon his bow to finish the illusory atmosphere created by the Yakshas. As it is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarate. Without Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, no one is able to overcome the actions of illusory energy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also given us a nice weapon in this age, as stated in Bhagavatam, Sango Pangastu Parshadam. So the Narayanastra weapon to drive away Maya is chanting of Hare Krishna mantra in pursuance of the association of Lord Chaitanya, such as Advaita Prabhu, Nityananda, Gadadhara, and Srivasa. So we chant in the association of devotees, that is our weapon. As soon as Dhrumara joined the Narayanastra arrow to his bow, the illusion created by the Akshas was immediately vanquished, just as all material pains and pleasures are vanquished when one becomes fully cognizant of the self. So, as such, they are not there. It's an illusion created. All the mountains, animals, and wind, and so many ferocious things that are coming towards Dhruv Maharaj was a illusion. But even for us, it is very, like, say, somebody is watching a horror movie in a theater alone. And then immediately he will get so much frightened because the sound comes in all directions and you are getting a very horrified image from the front. Any bold person may be afraid. But then somebody who is very conscious, no, 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 this is all illusion. This is all the Dolby effect. I should not get scared. It's an illusion. And then he will be free. And the lights are on, then he can come out of that fear. So similarly, Dhruv Maharaj, he got enlightened by touching, taking shelter of Narayana. So these astras, no, they are empowered astras. Any arrow they can take and they can chant the mantra and empower the arrow with that, empower the arrow with that mantra and then they can utilize it. So immediately Dhruv Maharaj could empower that arrow with Narayana astra and he was free. Krishna is like a sun, Maya is Maya, and Maya or the illusory energy of Krishna is like darkness. Darkness means absence of light. Similarly, Maya means absence of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness and Maya are always there side by side. As soon as there is awakening of Krishna consciousness, all the illusory pains and pleasures of mental existence are vanquished. Maya medam tarantite. So there we can overcome Maya by that only. Okay, there is a question. In the present day, the soldiers fighting for the country, if they die, what would they what would be their destination? Generally, they are actually going to, if they had some spirit of proper spirit, then they will be elevated higher planets. Otherwise, they will be just born like any other human being here. They are killed. They will be born as humans only. But if they have really shown some Kshatriya spirit and all, then they can be elevated. Because it is our position in the heavenly planet is proportionate to our activity, pious activities, our state of consciousness, and these are actually the and what uh, how we have performed our duties. So these three matters: how you perform duties, what pious activities you did, and what was the state of consciousness. So these three matters where our destination is. So presently they may be thinking of their wife and children when they are dying, and if they are thinking, okay, I just have to do my duty because I'm paid for it, and they may not have some of them that much the skill of a kshatriya, the spirit of a kshatriya, and if they have not done any much pious activity like giving charity and all, then they will be just born as a normal person. But if they did some charity and then they had that kshatriya spirit, just even if my government does not pay, also I'm going to kill my enemy because I want to establish dharma, and that actually makes a difference. So it is not anybody who dies on the battlefield will go. Previous ages it was very clear that was dharma yuddhas, but now it is not clear. So that makes a difference now. And by chanting we can come overcome. And then even as Dhruva Maharaj fixed the weapon made by Narayana Rishi upon his bow arrows with golden shafts, the feathers like the wings of a swan flew out from it. They entered the enemy's soldiers with great hissing sound, just as a peacocks enter a forest with tumultuous crowing. These sharp arrows dismayed the enemy soldiers, who became almost unconscious But various Yakshas on the battlefield in a rage against Dhruva Maharaj somehow or other collected their weapons and attacked just as the serpent agitated by Garuda rushed towards Garuda with upraised hoods. All the Yaksha soldiers prepared to overcome Dhruva Maharaj with their upraised weapons. When Dhruva Maharaj saw the Yakshas coming forth, he immediately took his arrows and cut the enemies to pieces, separating their arms, legs, heads, and bellies from their bodies. He delivered the Yakshas to the planetary system which is situated above the sun globe and which is attained only by first class brahmacharis who had never discharged their semen. So this is what Dhruva did for them. So he did not, it is punishing, but is also rewarding also. So that is the advantage. He's sending them to Janaloka, Maharloka, some Tapaloka like that. And Prabhupada is writing that to be killed by Lord or by his devotees auspicious for non-devotees. The Yakshas were killed indiscriminately by Dhruva Maharaj, but they attained the planetary systems attainable only by brahmacharis who never discharged their semen. So for Yakshas, it was not possible to go to that place. But Dhruva Maharaj gave them that mercy. And interestingly, Yakshasna, they came to fight. That's why they got that higher destination. Otherwise, if they run away and Dhruva Maharaj is chasing them from behind and they're hiding and Dhruva Maharaj is killing them, then both are not in a Kshatriya spirit and both will not get any benefit. And actually, then Dhruva will incur sin also for doing such activity of killing the people who don't want to fight. No, Dhruva is ready to fight and they are also ready to fight. And that's why that spirit is there of a Kshatriya. They are not hiding. That is the reason they got elevated. And as the impersonalist Gyanis or the demons killed by the Lord attain Brahmaloka or Satyaloka, persons killed by devotees of the Lord also attain Satyaloka. To reach Satyaloka planetary system described here, one has to be elevated above the sun globe. Killing, therefore, is not always bad. You see, killing is not always bad. If killing is done by the Supreme Lord or his devotee, or in great sacrifice, it is for the benefit of the entire entity killed in that way. Material so-called non-violence is very insignificant in comparison to killing done by the personality of God or his devotees. Even when a king or a state government kills a person who is a murderer, that killing is for the benefit of murderer. You see, the king is doing for the subjects out of compassion only. For thus he may become cleansed for all sinful reactions. So violence is needed. It is important. An important word in this verse is urdhvaretasa, which means brahmacharis who have never discharged semen. Celibacy is so important that even though one does not undergo any austerities, penance, or ritualistic ceremonies prescribed in the Vedas, if one simply keeps himself a pure brahmachari, not discharging his semen, the result is that after death he goes to Satyaloka. Generally, sex life is the cause of all miseries in material world. In Vedic civilization, sex life is restricted in various ways. Out of the whole population of social structure, only grahasthas are allowed restricted sex life. All others refrain from sex. People of this age especially do not know the value of not discharging semen. As such, they are variously entangled with material qualities and suffer an existence of struggle only. The word Urdhvaretasa especially indicates the Mayavadi sannyasis who undergo strict principles of austerities. But in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that even if one goes up to Brahmaloka, he again comes back. Abrahma bhuvanar loka punaravartano achana. Therefore, actual mukti or liberation can be attained only by devotional service, because by devotional service one can go above Brahmaloka or to the spiritual world, where from he never comes back. Mayavadi sannyasis are very proud of being liberated, but actual liberation is not possible unless one is in touch with the Supreme Lord. It is said, Harim Vinana Mrityum Karanti. Without Krishna's mercy, no one can have liberation. So, our formula is very simple. You want to come out, you have to be in touch with the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, there is no way. So, we don't accept anything in between. Because This is the envious attitude of Mayavadis. They don't want to accept a person, they don't want to surrender to a person. This is all because of envy. So we have to very, very clearly see where this envy is there in our heart. And that's why Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarani, this Nirvisesha Shunyavadi is applicable to us also because we also have somewhere this tendency. So we have to overcome it. When Swayambhu Manu saw that his grandson Dhruva Maharaj was killing so many of the Yakshas who were not actually offenders, out of his great compassion, he approached Dhruva with great sages to give him good instructions. Now, Prabhupada writing, Dhruva Maharaj attacked Alkapuri, the cities of Yakshas, because his brother was killed by one of them. Actually, only one of the citizens, not all of them, was guilty of killing his brother Uttama. Dhruva Maharaj, of course, took a very serious step and his brother was killed by the Yakshas. War was declared and the fighting was going on. This sometimes happens in the present day also. You see, for one man's fault, a whole state is sometimes attacked. And we have seen just presently what happened. This kind of wholesale attack is not approved by Manu, the father and lawgivers of the human race. He therefore wanted to stop his grandson Dhruva from continuing to kill the Yaksha citizens who are not offenders. And we have seen India is a very responsible country in that way. They don't want war, so they did not escalate. They did something without much collateral damage so that it does not escalate. So this is actually uh, that is there in the blood of Indians. They are peace-loving people. It is because the scriptures and all that type of environment is there. Even the water in this place also has that effect. People when they drink water from India, they also become peace. Most of them, I don't say that 100%, but there is violence also, but most of them are peace loving. And here Manu says, my dear son, please stop. It is not good to become unnecessarily angry. It is a path to hellish life. Now you are going beyond a limit by killing Yaksha, who are actually not offenders. Of course, they are getting benefited, but still, so I'm just telling, no, not good, not good. In this verse, Atiroshena means with unnecessary anger. And Dhruva Maharaj went beyond the limits of of unnecessary anger. His grandfather, Swayambhu Manu, immediately came to protect him from further sinful action. This is very important. We need to have somebody in life who can able to tell us whether we are doing right or wrong. If you don't have anybody, we are very unfortunate. Here, Swayambhu Manu did not mind coming and telling Dhruva, you are not doing correct. And he knows that his grandson will listen to him. And nowadays, now people don't have who can tell. Sometimes they become too big. Then it is more dangerous because there is nobody who can tell that you are doing a mistake. But Dhruva is fortunate in that way. He has somebody who can tell and he is ready to listen also. They are very obedient. We need like parents, they expect that the children should follow them. But parents should also have somebody above them whom they are following, and children should see that also. That okay, my parents have a guru and my parents follows guru's instructions. Because they are following somebody, we will follow our parents. So this is how the system works. Everybody should have somebody above them whom they are following. And if they give some instructions without envious, we should follow the instructions. And then with that authority, we can tell the people below us that you should also follow. And then it becomes easy for them. Otherwise, it's very difficult. They will only say, okay, now I am dependent, that's why I have to follow this fellow. Once I become independent, then no more following because he is doing whatever he wants. I have to do whatever I want. But presently, I cannot do because I don't have that independence. So, this is how the children think. When they see the parents are giving orders and they don't have any boss above them, they will also think that until I become independent, I just have to follow. After that, chalo. But here, Dhruva, he had somebody above and he's ready to follow. This is very important. And Swayambhu Manu immediately came to protect him from further. So from this we can understand that killing is not bad, but when killing is done unnecessarily or when an offenseless person is killed, such killing opens the path to hell. Dhruva Maharaj was saved from such sinful actions because he was a great devotee. This is a very important point. We should not unnecessarily kill. Nowadays, no, the wars, they kill innocent people. They are killing civilians, which is very, very sinful. And that sin will affect the whole country. If you have intention of killing innocent people, it's not that you killed and left. No, you have to pay. The whole country will pay if the innocent people are killed of other country. If the king is doing anything wrong of killing innocent people of other country, the whole country pays for it. They have to pay very big price. Even the intentions of killing also has an effect. So we have to be very careful. We should not do such things. Kshatriya is allowed to kill only for maintenance of law and order. You see, it is not allowed. He is not allowed to kill or commit violence without reason. Violence is certainly a path leading to hellish condition of life, but it is also required for maintenance of law and order of the state. Here, Lord Manu prohibited Dhruva Maharaj from killing the Yakshas because only one of them was punishable for killing his brother. Uttama, not all the Yakshas citizens were punishable. We find in modern warfare, however, that attacks are made upon innocent citizens without who are without fault. Prabhupada is no need of reading news. Prabhupada, Prabhupada is telling everything. According to law of Manu, such warfare is most sinful activity. Furthermore, at the present moment, civilized nations are unnecessarily maintaining many slaughterhouses for killing innocent animals. So this is also such a violence. When a nation is attacked by its enemies, the wholesale slaughter of citizens should be taken as a reaction to their own sinful activities. That's the law of nature. Of course, Prabhupada is never diplomatically right. Prabhupada, it was good that Prabhupada is not there in this social media era. He will become the most unpopular leader of the world. Fortunately, Prabhupada was 50 years behind, so it was good. Prabhupada could tell all the truth without any apprehensions. If Prabhupada is, no, they'll create such a controversy on Prabhupada statements. And Prabhupada is like, this is actually Krishna's arrangement only. He's made sure that the social media is not there proper time. And Prabhupada will go on the media and he will he will speak everything so bluntly and which is not digestible for people, and people quote out of context. They make so much mess out of it. Very bad. Yeah, killing innocent people is happening right now. Because the reason is slaughterhouses. Prabhupada is very clear. And Manu is telling, my dear son, the killing of sinless excess which you have undertaken is not at all approved by authorities, and does not befit our family, which is supposed to know the law of religion and religion. And see, very important. He's addressing. He's telling that Nasatam Kulachitam Tata Karmitat Sat Vigrahitam Vado Yad Upadevana Arabdasta Kartinasa Nimasa. He says that Array, it does not asamat kulam. So it is not befitting our family. This is very important. How to help anybody come out of the problem is give him a proper identity. If he gets an identity, he knows how to act. Present problem is people don't know what is their identity. That's why they don't know how to act. This so-called education, gender, what do you say? Gender education, forgot the name. So what they do, they are not giving them proper identity. So because of which they are completely confused what they are. And then they, after 12 years age and 13 years age, suddenly boy comes and tells, the teacher is asking, are you getting the feeling that you are a girl? He says, yeah, maybe. Then there are countries like Sweden and all, they sponsor for gender change. Such a dangerous, like, no, damage to their mind and all. And that fellow, he becomes a she. And I don't want to damage your mind, but I'm trying to tell that why it is such a problem in this age, because the identity is not very clear for people. The main thing is the identity should be very clear what we are. Here, Arjuna is also, if you remember the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna immediately says, Arjuna, you are a Bharata. You are the son of, you are in the lineage of King Bharata. How can you act like this? So same thing here also. No, Dhruva, Swayambhuman is telling Dhruva, Dhruva, our family is not like that. So once you get an identity, then you know how to act. Without identity, to act is difficult. A wife is told that you are a wife, then she acts like a wife. Husband is told that you are a husband, is properly given that ahankara, he can act like that. Now you don't have that identity properly, when marriage don't take place properly, and then they don't give that sanskaras. Nowadays, the marriage is only a photo session. The rituals and all are not very seriously considered. Previously, ritual was the main part and photo was like secondary. But nowadays, unfortunately, in India, especially South, I don't know, North, the photo session is the main session. Marriage means you should have a pre-wedding shoot and this shoot, that shoot. I don't know. Everything is shot dead. The main ritual is shot dead, because of which no, the poor priest, he's just, no, he's so much embraced. And you don't have option on law. You just work for the, he says, okay, I'll just do my whatever, some ritual, I'll be paid, and he's least bothered. And then what happens? Then, because their ahankara is not properly established, he will not act like a husband and she will not like act as a wife, and then everything is messed up. So that is a problem. So here, what is first thing? See, you see what Swayambhu knows, he's telling, he's giving his ego right, setting the ego right. So he's telling, you are a Kshatriya and our family is not like this. Immediately Dhruva understood, yes, yes. My dear son, it has been proved that you are very much affectionate towards your brother and are greatly aggrieved at his being killed by the Yakshas. But just consider, for one Yaksha's offense, you have killed many others who are innocent. See, this is also another thing. So he's empathizing with what Dhruva is going through. He's just not saying you are doing wrong. He's saying, I understand that you are going through this problem. I understand you got affected by your brother's killing, but it is done by one Yaksha. No? Why you are killing all other Yakshas? So instead of criticizing Dhruva, he's empathizing with him. He's also seeing that, yeah, I know you are going through pain, but it is only one person. You cannot do for everyone like that. So this is a proper way of non-violent communication. No, we can learn this from our Shastras. Is how he is. And even Krishna also, when he corrects Arjuna in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, you can see that he says, he separates Arjuna from the problem. He says, Kutastva Kashmalamidam Vishame Samupastidam Anarjashna Sargam Akir. Arjuna, you are not this. How can you do this? That means he's separating Arjuna from the problem. He's seeing the person separate from the problem. This is the way of non-violent communication. This is the way of giving corrections, right? And here we see that he is Swayambhu Manu saying, Arey, this is not our family. We cannot do like that. So first he gave his identity, ego. Second, he's telling, I empathize what you are going through, like that. And one should not accept the body as a self and thus, like the animals, kill the bodies of others. This especially forbids by saintly persons who follow the path of devotional service to the Supreme Personality. Now he is giving the instructions. First he empathized with it, then he said, no, 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 this is simple. This is, you cannot do it. It's like animals. And then Prabhupada writing the word Sadhunam Rishikeshanuvartina are very significant. Sadhu means a saintly person. But who is a saintly person? A saintly person is he who follows the path of rendering service unto the Supreme Personality of God, Rishikesha. Rishikena Rishikesh Sevanam. the process of rendering favorable service. Therefore, why should a person who is already engaged in the service of the Lord engage himself in personal sense gratification? That means if I am doing service to the Lord, both the things cannot go parallelly. Sense gratification and so Kabe Hama Hirabo Yugalapi. So he says that when will my heart get cleansed? Then only I'll be able to see the past time. So both cannot go parallelly with sense gratification and service. Therefore, why should a person who always engaged in the service of the Lord engage himself persistent? Dhruv Maharaj is advised here by Lord Manu that he is a pure servitor of the Lord. Why should he unnecessarily engage like the animals in the bodily concept of life? Animal thinks that the body of another animal is its food. Therefore, in the bodily concept of life, one animal attacks other. Jivo jivasya deva. This is actually material is very cruel. Our food is the death of other living entity. It is like that only. We have to kill all the crops to eat. Even for us, even vegetarian also there is violence, but least violence. But there is violence, right? A human being, especially one who is a devotee of Lord, should not act like this. A sadhu, a saintly devotee, is not supposed to kill animals unnecessarily. It is very difficult to achieve the spiritual abode of Hari in the Vaikuntha planet. But you are so fortunate to already destined to go to that abode by worshipping him as the supreme abode of all living entities. So Dhruva Maharaj got it. And even the saintly persons who cannot get, but Dhruva could attain that. The material body of all living entities cannot exist unless sheltered by the spirit soul and the super soul. That means my body has Kshetra, Kshetrajna. This is Kshetra body. There are Kshetrajna, but there are two Kshetrajnas, the soul and the super soul. The spirit soul is dependent on the super soul, is present within the atom. Therefore, since anything material or spiritual is completely dependent on the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord is referred to here as Bhuta Vasa. Dhruva Maharaj, the Kshatriya, could have argued with his grandfather Manu when requested him to stop. But even though Dhruva could have argued that as a Kshatriya it was his duty to fight with the enemy, he was informed that since every living entity is a residence of the Supreme Lord, can be considered a temple of the Lord, the unnecessarily king of any living entity is not permitted. So Dhruva is a very obedient grandson. Because you are a pure devotee, the Lord is always thinking of you and you are always recognized as. See, now again, same thing. What he's doing? He's trying to give his identity. And he's telling, Arey, you are a pure devotee. If I am told I am pure devotee, then what will happen? What is where is it? It is our ego that is changing. Oh, I am a pure devotee. That means I should behave like this because people consider. So the Lord is always thinking of you and you are always also recognized by all his confidential devotees. Your life is meant for exemplary behavior. I am therefore surprised. Why have you undertaken such an abominable task? It is not befitting you. Come on, Dhruva, like that. You are such a great person. So he is separating him from the problem. He is giving him his right identity. So this is the way. And Prabhupada reading, Dhruva was a pure devotee and was accustomed to always thinking of the Lord. Reciprocal Lord always thinks of his pure devotees 24 hours a day. As a pure devotee does not know anything beyond the Lord, so the Lord does not know anything beyond his pure devotees. So this is what Swayambhu Manu is telling to Dhruva. You should always act in such an exemplary way. That means according to your, under the circumstances, it is surprising that you have killed so many faultless exarchs. And then he says the Lord is very satisfied with his devotees when the devotee greet other peoples with tolerance, mercy, friendship and equanimity. Stikshaya Karunya Maitreya Chakila Jantushu Samatvena Cha Sarvatma Bhagavan Samprasidati. He says it is a duty of an advanced devotee in the second stage of devotional perfection to act in accordance with this verse. There are three stages of devotional life. In the lowest stage, a devotee is simply concerned with the deity in the temple and he worships the Lord with great devotion according to rules and regulations. Second stage, he is cognizant of his relation with the Lord, his relation with his fellow devotees, in relation with the innocent, and in relation with the who are envious. An advanced stage, he it is advised that an advanced devotee should be tolerant. He should show complete mercy to persons who are ignorant or innocent. A preacher devotee is meant to show mercy to innocent persons who can be elevated to devotional service. Everyone, by constitutional position, is an eternal servant of God. Therefore, a devotee's business is to awaken everyone's Krishna consciousness. So, this is what is Prabhupada's heart is explaining. That this is how we should act and this is what we should do. And that is his mercy. As for a devotee's treatment of other devotees who are his equals, he should maintain friendship with them. His general view should be to see every living entity as part of the Supreme Lord. And further, Swayambhu Manu says, one who actually satisfies the Supreme Lord during one's lifetime becomes liberated from the gross and subtle material conditions, thus being free from all material modes of nature. He achieves unlimited spiritual bliss. Because Uttanapada went to forest, it was Swayambhu Manu's responsibility to take care of Dhruv Maharaj. In the previous verse, it has been explained that one should treat all living entities with tolerance, mercy, friendship, and equality. By such behavior, one satisfies the Supreme Lord. And upon his satisfaction, the devotee immediately becomes free from all material conditions. And this is a very important understanding. So, formulas are simple, application is easy. The application to be, to tolerate, to show mercy, friendship, and equality, not so easy. Unfortunately, people do not know how to achieve it. Atheists do not believe in God. Certainly, they do not please Him. Here it is clearly said that upon pleasing the Supreme Personality of God, one immediately attains to the spiritual platform and enjoys unlimited blissful life. The word prasannin, which is used in this verse, means being satisfied. Prabhupada is telling a person should act in such a way that the Lord is satisfied with the activities. It is not that he himself is to be satisfied. It is not for our satisfaction. And of course, when the Lord is satisfied, the devotee automatically becomes satisfied. This is the secret of process of Bhakti Yoga. And karmis, jnanis, yogis, they try to satisfy themselves, but only devotees try to satisfy the Supreme Lord. Bhutai pancha bhir arbhadhair yoshit purushena evahi tayor vyavayat sambhutair yoshit purushayor iyaha. He says the creation of material world begins with the five elements. So now he is giving philosophy also. He's just not telling something. He's trying to explain some philosophy to help him. And thus everything, including the body of a man or a woman, is created by these elements. By the sexual life of man and woman, the number of men and women in the material world is further increased. And in the battlefield, he's giving such heavy philosophy. But Dhruva is very intelligent, he can understand. Then Prabhupada is telling, when Swayambhu Manu saw Dhruva Maharaj understood the philosophy of Vaishnavism and was still dissatisfied because of his brother's death, he gave him an explanation of how this metal body is created by five elements of metal nature. So this I told. See, two things we have a problem. One is lamentation and fear. Lamentation is because of bodily identification. And if we identify with the body, then we become attached, then comes the fear. So here, Dhruva is having a lamentation. Why is lamenting? Because he is feeling separation from his brother. His brother was killed. So for that, Swayambhu Manu is telling your lamentation is because you are identifying with the body. But the body is just a combination of these five elements. And that's what Prabhupada is writing. He gave him an explanation of how this metal body is created by the five elements of metal nature. Prakrite kriyamanani. So everything is created, maintained, and inherited by metal modes of nature. In the background, of course, there is the direction of the Supreme Lord. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Under my superintendence, material nature is acting. Swayambhu Manu wanted to impress on Dhruva Maharaj that the death of metal body of his brother was not actually the Yaksha's fault. It was an act of material nature. So it is done by metal nature only. It's not anybody's fault. They just were an instrument, and according to his karma, Uttama had to die. But it is by such powerful potencies that the universe is created, although grossly it appears to be no more than the five elements. Similarly, the bodies of all species, everything is like this only. This is a way of creation, maintenance, and annihilation. One should not be disturbed by the waves of metal nature in this process. Dhruva Maharaj was indirectly advised not to be afflicted by the death of his brother. So the real spirit soul is never annihilated or killed by anyone. Any questions, comments? Okay, thank you all very much. Hope I am not very fast because just because these points now which Prabhupada is writing, you might have heard in many places, so that's why I'm not taking it again and again. Prabhupada repeats some of the points to make us understand, so I just try to skip them. But whichever are new, we'll try to discuss. Very good. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Kalantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.